Welcome to the first annual Ontario Youth Film Festival screening and awards ceremony. I'm Sophie Much. I co-hosted the Forest City Youth Film Festival's screening and awards ceremony 2 weeks ago, and I'm overjoyed to be back here for tonight's special event.
I'm Michael Maddock, and I'm a grade 11 student at Sir Frederick Banting Secondary School, and I co-hosted the Forest City Youth Film Festival's screening and awards show with Sophie. I've always been inspired by actors, and one day I would love to pursue acting as a career.
Thank you so much for joining us. The Ontario Youth Film Festival, or OYFF, is a province-wide competition that showcases and celebrates the top animation, documentary, experimental, music video, and narrative shorts from anchor films in Southwestern, Central, Eastern, and Northern Ontario. It's like the OFSA, but of creative arts.
The Ontario Youth Film Festival wouldn't be possible without the support of our category sponsors. We'd like to thank Fanshawe College's School of Contemporary Media for sponsoring the narrative category.
And we'd like to thank Western University's Creative Arts and Production Program for sponsoring the music video category.
And a special thanks goes out to the London Arts Council, right, Sophie?
That's right. They help support this festival through the City of London's Community Arts Investment Program.
Cool. In this inaugural year of the OYFF, we're honored to be showcasing and celebrating the work of 23 talented filmmakers from Southwestern and Central Ontario. Next year, we're aiming to add even more nominees from anchor festivals in Eastern and Northern Ontario as well.
In the meantime, we're thrilled to be giving out $2,500 in cash prizes this evening.
Did you say $2,500 in cash prizes?
Yep.
Well, how much of that do we get? Because I'm still looking at this sweet Nintendo Switch.
Cash prizes for the filmmakers, Michael. The runner-ups in each category will receive $200 and the winners $300.
Wow, I can't wait to see their submissions.
You won't have to wait long, because we're ready to screen the nominees in our first category, animation.
Ooh, Isle of Dogs is my favorite animated feature. The characters really resonated with me.
The dogs?
Yeah, the dogs. What, and I bet you're into those wholesome Disney/Pixar shorts like Lava and Piper, right?
How did you know?
I read the teleprompter.
Can you read the part about introducing the next category?
Sure. Animated films feature a long series of carefully crafted images, which are then played in quick succession to create the illusion of movement. They require careful planning, patience, and persistence. Just like asking someone out on a date.
Right, sure. Our expert judge for this category is Dave Latour, a veteran of the animation industry and coordinator of Fanshawe College's 3D Animation and Design program. In the past, Dave has animated such beloved characters such as Rocky and the Bullwinkle, the Mummy, and the Hulk.
And here are the nominees.
Your house is haunted. The floors are cold, the walls bare, and every room wants to swallow you whole. When you wait on your front porch for letters that don't come, the second-floor windows host watching eyes and judging skulls. Apparitions trail after you in the mornings and hide around the corners at night. None of them bother you, though. Do you wish they would bother you? There must be a reason for this haunting. When the ground isn't frozen, you dig up the yard and ruin your chances of planting perennials. But every time, the dirt comes up clean of history. There's nothing in the walls. The bones of this place are empty, all marrow gutted clean. There are no heirlooms harboring family curses. There's barely any furniture, let alone heirlooms. Wasn't this house inherited? The ways the haunting presents itself grow subtler. Now every creak of the floorboards feels like a reunion. You ignore drafty windows and believe that the curtains sway to wave hello to you. You are losing your distractions from the quiet. It is so quiet. Your house. My house. No one has lived here before me. What did it even look like before the haunting? Was it always so bare? Someone must have left it to me. I couldn't have afforded it, but who would leave me with hungry rooms and empty bones? Who would leave me here alone? Why do I stay here alone? The haunting has passed. The windows no longer watch me. The doorways are dead, and every groan of the walls is just the natural shift of the framework. My house hasn't changed, but it still has a bed, a fireplace. My house hasn't changed, but it's still mine. Maybe I can start a garden.
Okay, let's go, people.
How long has that been there? He's had that chair for like 4 years, and this is definitely not the first time he's used it as a rocking chair. Even though it's solid plastic, it's for sure going to break soon. But when?
Wait, I think I blew this all out of proportion. This chair's been going for quite a while, yeah? And it's held up just fine. Yeah, it'll all be fine. The chair's fine. Everything's okay. Time to refocus. I can finally focus on vocal. Finally, I can...
All right, folks, let's go. Ah!
Grandpa sits peacefully, his legs crossed, his eyes closed. He doesn't move when Miyuki waves a fan, cooling his face. When he finally opens his eyes, Miyuki freezes in place. What is it, Miyuki? Grandpa, I made some tea for you. Thank you, Miyuki, but I just want a moment to meditate. What's meditating? Is it a game? Teach me, I want to meditate too. Grandpa regards Miyuki with a delight. Very well, Miyuki. Let's drink the delicious tea you kindly made. When do we start to meditate, Grandpa? Without a word, Grandpa stands up and begins to walk calmly down the green path. Miyuki follows him. When they reach the river, Grandpa watches the water. Giggling, Miyuki throws in twigs and watches them float away. When do we start to meditate, Grandpa? Grandpa sits Miyuki next to him and shows her the light playing on the water. Miyuki, look at the water. Not the flow, not the twigs floating by, only the water in front of your eyes. Grandpa lies down in the soft grass and Miyuki nestles next to him. When Miyuki looks at the clouds, she sees thousands of shapes. I see a fox, a hen, no, a lamb, a horse, a bird. She shouts, What do you see, Grandpa? Grandpa smiles, satisfied just to be lying in the warm sun, feeling each blade of grass beneath him. But Grandpa, when will we meditate? Miyuki, we have meditated all day long. When we walked on the path in silence, admiring the garden, the bees, the stones, and the grass, we meditated. When we sat by the river and looked at the water in front of us without following its flow, we meditated. When we watched the clouds without changing them into anything else, simply appreciating what we saw, we meditated. Grandpa, we have meditated. Yes, Miyuki, we have. Grandpa gives her a hug, and Miyuki breathes in, and Miyuki meditates.
Wow, all those shorts are so good. How could Dave possibly pick only 2?
I don't know, but he did. The runner-up in the animation category is Thank You Miyuki by Hannah Abdulrazik.
And the winner is... Wait a second. Can we get like a drum roll or anything to like really ramp up the drama effect? And the winner is... Hollow Home by Nina Rafiq. Congratulations, Hannah and Nina. Did that sound like a drum roll to you?
Not at all. Epic fail.
You know what isn't an epic fail? Those shorts. You know, I wish I knew a little more about these filmmakers tonight. You know, the festival organizer should have done a, whatchamacallit.
A Q&A?
No, more like a Q&A.
Funny you should say that. Let's watch this.
It's pretty cool. It's very, very cool. I actually wasn't there for like physically there because I had COVID at the time, but my parents were there to represent me, and they once they sent me the picture of my name up on the screen and my dad going down to accept the award, I was like I was just sitting at home doing nothing, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, I won, and my movie just played in a theater full of people.
Seeing my film on the big screen was an amazing experience. I was able to feel honored and recognized, and as though my hard work had paid off.
To be honest, it was a little nerve-wracking starting off. I think there's always that underlying sense of unease sharing your art with the public, and hoping that they react the way in which you hope and understand your message. But I think once your brain sort of gets past that, and you realize that your films are put out there for others to enjoy, that it's a real feeling of excitement.
I remember being a little bit nervous. It's something that as an artist, like with your final product, you can never really see it with fresh eyes again. So I sort of just wished I was in the audience watching it for a first time.
It was an incredible experience. I can't even really describe it. It was really amazing seeing it with lots and lots of people in the theater and being able to see, it really is a massive screen, and it inspired me to want to make a new film ASAP so I can try and submit it to the festival again.
I was absolutely terrified. I remember I closed my eyes and I covered my face because I was so worried that other people might be able to notice like the tiny little details that I did. But yeah, it was really nerve-wracking, but I was also just in the end absolutely thrilled to be able to have my film out there.
I didn't really expect my film to get this far. Like, I personally thought it was really funny, but the experience of seeing it, like, up there and hearing a whole crowd of people that I pretty much didn't know really liked the film and laugh along with it, it was a great moment. Like, I don't think I'll ever forget that.
Cool stuff, huh?
I'll say. Now what?
Now we introduce the first category, documentary.
Ooh. You want to do it?
Sure. Documentary is a factual motion picture intended to document some aspect of reality, primarily for the purposes of education or maintaining a historical record.
Our expert judge is Stuart Linham. Stu has been chair of the short film showcase of the Barrie Film Festival for 7 years after spending a decade in broadcasting. When not immersed in short movies, you can find him producing podcasts or annoying his children with arcane historical facts and obscure pop culture references.
Before we screen the nominated documentaries, we should warn you that one of them deals with the topic of teen suicide. If you are experiencing suicide-related thoughts and behaviors, you need to know that you're not alone. You can connect to a Talk Suicide crisis responder to get help without judgment by calling 1-833-456-4566, toll-free anytime, any day of the year.
And here are our nominees.
Hey Al, I'm kind of busy.
I'll be quick.
Okay, what's up?
I just wanted to thank you. I don't think I ever have.
Thank me for what?
For everything. You've just always been there for me.
Is everything okay?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Hey, you know the outfit I lent you?
Yeah, I'll give it back to you as soon as I can.
Keep it.
Seriously?
Yeah, it looks better on you anyways.
Thanks.
Just think of me whenever you wear it.
Are you sure everything is okay?
Yeah, I'm just leaving. But I'll see you again one day.
Leaving? Where are you going?
I have to go now. Bye.
Call me soon, okay? Stay in touch.
Approximately 800,000 people commit suicide every year. That's one person every 40 seconds. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you have suffered from suicidal thoughts, talk to someone. Know that you aren't alone and it doesn't have to end this way.
The Grand Theatre is London's very own cultural hub, located in the heart of downtown. With their diverse and original plays from around the world, the Grand never fails to leave a positive impression on the audience. I'm at the Grand Theatre today to find out the impacts that they have had on the community, as well as the projects that they have contributed towards London and the surrounding areas.
So my name is Leah Caritas, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Digital Strategy at the Grand Theatre. Our team is responsible for telling the Grand Theatre's stories in a number of different ways. So we work in traditional marketing means, and we also work in the digital sphere as well. As a lifelong Londoner, I used to attend shows at the Grand Theatre, and the Grand was one of my first exposures to live entertainment, and one of the places where I fell in love with live entertainment and live theatre. It's really easy to make the Grand Theatre a tradition, especially here in London. The playbill is always ever changing. It's very eclectic, and you know that every time you go, you're going to have a great time at the Grand. My family honestly became subscribers when I started working at the Grand Theatre, and even when I stopped working for a little bit at the Grand Theatre, they continued subscribing even while I wasn't here anymore because they just loved the experience so much. So when you come to the Grand, it's this feeling of being somewhere extremely special, somewhere exceptional. And I think that's true always of the Grand, from my youngest experiences with it to today, where I have a lot more familiarity with the environment. It never ceases to make me feel like I'm somewhere special and that I'm going to have a great time.
I'm Natalie Kearns. I'm the head of props for the Grand Theatre, and a prop master's job is basically to populate and fill the world of the play with all the objects that make up that world. So the metaphor that I always use is anything that you would pack into a moving van to move from one house to another would be the kind of props of your life. I think the high school project is a really incredible and unique opportunity, and for me it sort of lets me share what I love with students who are enthusiastic about theater.
My name is Brianne Ritchie. I'm currently at the Grand on a contract as Executive Associate. That puts me under the Executive Director, Deb Harvey, in helping for grant applications and funding, all of the administrative things that it takes to run a theater. I think one of the biggest ways that the Grand Theatre affects the community of London and area is the high school project. So that's an opportunity for high school students, any high schools in London and surrounding area, to come to the Grand and have a professional working theatre experience. The high school project has been around since '98, so many, many years, multiple decades of opportunities for this to happen. We're putting professional level shows on with high school students, both on the stage and behind the scenes. So the Grand Theatre has a mandate of London proud, world curious. And for me, that is a huge source of success because we're able to tell stories that are relevant to Londoners, that make us proud of who we are, that share details of different cultures and historical experiences that folks from this area might have. But it also allows us to have a stage in London for international and wider spread national stories. We've got a really neat program called Compass, which is a new play development department here at the Grand, and that allows us to bring in new playwrights who might have an idea, something that they want to share and develop, and we bring them in and are supportive through that process of getting a show on stage. So that can be anywhere from a reading, workshopping a new piece, all the way to a full-scale professional part of our season show.
From the traditions of families attending unique plays to the high school project that allows high school students to gain professional theater experience, the Grand has had a huge impact on the community and will continue to do so for generations to come.
So I hope my children's futures are long, for starters.
Just that they are like happy and healthy.
I also hope my children have a future where the polar caps haven't melted and the cities haven't sunk into the oceans.
The topic of housing is one that we've talked about in this house a fair bit, actually, because of rising real estate costs.
The reality is, for your generation, we don't know. We don't know what that's going to look like. My parents expected me, I think, to live in a house that was probably similar to the one I grew up in, kind of in the suburbs with a yard.
The idea of maybe having a house or a condo in Toronto is something that seems quite remote right now.
Rental place, apartment, condo, eventually a house.
Our plans are not for them to stay with us forever.
My parents always expected me to have like one job for a long time.
Obviously, I'd like them to have a means to supporting themselves.
They wanted me to be successful, make a lot of money.
I'm sure she would have been thrilled if I were a doctor.
I do want our kids to go to university. I really believe in like furthering your education.
And who knows, maybe they'll never leave home because they'll be working out of their bedrooms for the rest of their lives. I hope they find relationships with people they trust and they feel good about themselves with.
I have absolutely zero expectations for what they'll do, whether they'll get married, whether they won't.
I hope that they avoid relationships where it may be really, really fun for a short period of time, but then they're not, bringing them into a place where they're going to be happy and be fulfilled.
I think my parents assumed that I would get married and have kids in that order, and it actually wasn't quite that order for me, and so that was a surprise for them.
Your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and your uncles are like, so do you have a girlfriend yet?
Selfishly, it may be that I would like to have grandchildren one day.
Yeah, I'd like grandkids,
It can be romantic, but it can also you have to be very realistic.
Teenagers right now are probably living in like the hardest times mental health wise ever.
In my parents' age, that wasn't really something that was discussed very much.
Mental health when I was young was something we probably made fun of.
Kids are so much more astute now, and so many more kids are in therapy. It doesn't have the stigma that it used to have.
I think it was kind of glossed over, and if you're having a low day, well, they just need to like chin up and get over it.
If you had a problem, you could get over it.
I think for kids that really need the mental health support, it's not always there for them.
I am really hoping that we've hit bottom and it gets better and our society recognizes the need for better support.
Canada has its first confirmed case of the new strain of coronavirus.
Thousands infected across multiple continents.
The province is considering putting large parts of the economy back into lockdown.
Classes, extracurriculars, they've now been cancelled.
Ontario will enter a province-wide shutdown.
It's the latest in a series of restaurant bars in Toronto forced to shut down.
A crisis which affected the whole world. These 2 to 3 years of the pandemic caused many changes in people's education, employment, religious, and economic status. Here, we have some experiences which they're ready to share with us.
COVID-19, it affected me a lot. First of all, I miss my school days and my friends, teachers, the interaction between teachers, friends, some other school members, and entertainments at school. I just miss those things.
I am Father Plojan Anthony, the pastor of St. Mary's Hero Malabar Catholic Church in London. COVID-19, that's a pandemic. Actually, it's affected a lot, especially in the religious level, faith matter, and also in all our religious activities. Faith must be expressed. So every church is the place of the expression of our faith. So if there is an expression, it must be through an interaction. In this pandemic, all are stopped. We have to express our faith. We cannot interact with others. And also, in every realm, the faith matter is strongly affected by this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic.
COVID affected a lot of people, professionals, business people. As a small business owner, my business is Gigi Spice Corner, an authentic Indian restaurant in London, Ontario. As every small business owners are facing a lot of challenges and struggling, we are also facing a lot of challenges. The main challenges is it happens because of the spread of the variants and everything. Every time we are the closures and opening, it struggles a lot, especially for a lot of employment problem. Employees are quitting from the fearing to communicate with the public. We can't offer them a lot of hours, so it is not sufficient for their daily living. So that type of challenges we are always facing. And another thing, all the groceries are going up and up. The prices, almost more than 50%, 60% of the price is going up. We can't increase our prices like that. So it's great. It's a great challenge. At the same time, we are very thankful to the federal government and the provincial government for the support of the small business. The online ordering, online work from home, everything affected a lot in our business because a lot of offices are closed now. So they are working from home. They can't do any social gatherings.
I have learned that in-person contact and socialization play an important role in my life.
I think that a strong Catholic or strong faithful can survive, especially in this situation, because this situation is so hard. But we are gradually we are coming to conquer this situation. We can, but we are in the process.
It's a learning curve for everyone. We can't say anything what we learned, but I'm advising to everyone, use our social gathering and everything, social activities, because it will improve your holistic health.
Socialization and good relationships are some of the basics of a healthy life. Unfortunately, before the pandemic, we didn't consider socialization as important, and COVID-19 lockdown reveals this to us.
Wait. Okay. Okay. Yes.
The name of my piece is Endless Conversation.
The name of my piece is called Open Up.
The name of my piece is Endless Conversation.
The creation of this piece was really important to me because it was a process that I needed to go through. I needed to create it. I needed to look at it in a 3D physical piece and hold it and understand that what caused this piece to be so important was important in and of itself.
I think just the whole process of communicating and reaching out to girls and just really getting to sit down and listen to them was just really inspiring and kind of helped us push to get the film together and really just gave us inspiration to really make this a actual thing.
I specifically made this piece grotesque so that my audience would be uncomfortable by it. And I needed that kind of, this is really interesting and in some ways it's really pretty, but I'm creeped out, I'm grossed out, because that's exactly how it was supposed to feel, because it's capturing how I felt.
I kind of just want them to feel safe in an environment where they can talk about experiences that they've been through or know that all of this is still kind of happening at this time.
The creation of this work is for myself because I started it subconsciously. I didn't plan it out. I didn't plan what it was meaning. I just was making it, and as I was analyzing it, I was like, oh, I know what you're about. But it's also, there is a part of it that's for the audience, but it's very selfishly for the audience, because it's kind of like, I want you to see it, and I want you to be a little bit like, ooh, I'm gonna do some self-reflecting in a way. But it's mostly for me.
I feel like it was a little bit for both. I feel like it was for me in a way that I could create such an open space for like girls and women to talk about this kind of stuff and just make sure that they're not feeling judged in any type of way. And also for the audience in a way that they just can educate themselves and like be aware, oh, that's like happening at such a young age, or like just kind of stuff like that.
I found this piece in particular difficult to create because technically it was difficult, but also it took a lot out of me to talk about it, because though I'm very desensitized to this relationship that it's based on, it just was weird looking at it, realizing how gross it made me feel just looking at the visual without the meaning, and then go, this is how I felt during that relationship, therefore during this artwork. And it was a very difficult realization.
I mean, it was hard to talk about it because, you know, it's kind of a traumatizing thing. It can be a really sensitive topic for some people, but which made it kind of difficult. But I think in the long run, it was really rewarding to kind of have something for us, for girls, to look at and feel represented.
On October 22, 1962, the world listened in horror as President John F. Kennedy announced the Soviet Union was arming Cuba with nuclear missiles. People went hysteric. Riots and protests erupted worldwide. Stores raided for supplies, fallout shelters built. Everyone was convinced nuclear war would break out at any moment, killing hundreds of millions of people and ending society as they knew it. There's another current threat that scientists predict will also kill up to hundreds of millions of people and end society as we know it: climate change. Yet strangely, nobody's panicking. According to a 2020 UN report, the world is still burning more than 2 times too much fossil fuel to avoid a climate tipping point. So why have scientists failed to convince citizens and governments to take action? Are we all doomed to perish in our apathy? Climate change is what is known in social science as a wicked problem. Basically, it's really, really complicated. Climate change is caused by deforestation and lack of climate regulation and corporate pollution, among tons of other things. Inaction will cause rising sea levels and world hunger, among many other things. But taking action will make certain people lose their jobs and require a more modest lifestyle for everyone, among tons of other things. 97% of climate scientists agree humans are causing global warming. But this massive web of factors to consider causes a psychological phenomena called confirmation bias. This is when people, such as climate change skeptics and bystanders, selectively listen to information that supports their existing opinions on climate change, and ignore everything else. Climate change's wicked nature might make climate change communication seem hopeless, but we can overcome it with strong narratives. Our decision-making brains comprise the amygdala, the emotional brain, and the frontal cortex, the rational brain. While the rational brain is the seasoned cowboy, the emotional brain is the wild stallion. The cowboy can steer the horse, but if it feels uninterested or provoked, the horse will run off in whatever direction it wants. Much of current climate change communication centers on rational facts and figures, but in the end, it's our primitive emotional brain that drives us to take action. And the best way to engage the emotional brain is through stories. In one experiment, people are shown a newsreel of a burning building and told two theories of how the fire started. One, that some paint canisters exploded, and two, that an arsonist started the fire. They were far more inclined to believe the arsonist theory, as it had a far more compelling story. The Cuban Missile Crisis made an amazing story with a clear protagonist, antagonist, and motive. Climate change has none of these. Think of how boring a movie it would be. The antagonist? The billions of people who eat and drive to work each day to survive? There's no clear motive or cause either. Ignorance? Confirmation bias? Because climate change as a whole doesn't make an interesting narrative, we should instead focus campaigning efforts on, for example, the Keystone XL pipeline and other major environmental events that have a stronger narrative. But not just any events. Events that target shared values. English sociologist Gregory Bateson pioneered the idea of frames, a powerful psychological force that blocks out issues that don't appeal to our values. Say we were trying to convince conservatives to take action against climate change. Conservatives generally are less concerned about climate change affecting wildlife than liberals are, because they don't have strong values or frames for animal rights. On the contrary, messages emphasizing how climate change will decrease national security, or how climate change will hurt Canada's agriculture industry, play much better to their frames and would be much more convincing. Through good stories emphasizing the right frames, we can overcome the wicked problem of climate change and mobilize the masses. We can use our voices to unite us and build a clean, sustainable future for our children.
What an amazing collection of docs. And the runner-up goes to Apathy Apocalypse by Calvin Cow.
And the winner of the documentary category goes to...
Ask for a drum roll.
Can I get a drum roll, please? And the winner of the documentary category is Parental Voices by Megan Murphy.
Should I say like a few words? Or... Okay, thank you so much. It's amazing. You guys are all so inspiring and so talented. Shout out to Maggie. You are amazing. I love you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Calvin and Maggie. So it's not just me with the drum roll.
Guess not.
What are we gonna do about it?
Dive straight into the next category?
Oh, I've got this.
Okay.
One of the central problems of human existence is the subjective experience of thinking, feeling, and acting. Of finding meaning in a seemingly meaningless world.
What on earth are you talking about?
I'm setting the mood for our existential nominees. You know, existential crisis.
How about we introduce our experimental nominees instead?
Oh, that makes so much more sense now. The experimental category represents an exploration of moving pictures and film. Entries may be abstract or purely artistic, or both. The exploration of visual images and audio can be used to evoke a specific emotion or to perceive the world through a different lens.
Our expert judges in the experimental category are Tyler Clementi and Sarah Jade Alfaro Degani. Tyler is a production manager and producer in Toronto, working primarily in the commercial industry. He studied film in Ottawa at Carleton University and has been working in film for over 5 years.
Sarah Jade Alfaro Degani is a graduate of McGill University and began her filmmaking career in Montreal. Sarah is a commercial and narrative writer, producer, and director, currently based in Toronto. Her stories focus primarily on female-led narratives and exploring cross-cultural issues through comedy and drama. When she's not making films, she's an educator, giving lectures and teaching courses in production and providing mentorships, particularly within BIPOC communities.
And here are our experimental nominees.
You don't wear no mask or anything?
I didn't even know that shut down. Yeah, I'm good. I'm unemployed at the moment.
You got laid off?
Yeah, COVID.
That sucks. I was my own business. I'm not shit. You better get money.
This is how you watch it.
No, I don't know.
It was like a bunch of
That's a lot of that.
yeah. What's your business?
My voices have left me. My voices have left me and time is running out. Tick, 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 left me. Left me. Left me. Left me. My words, my own words, born of my soul and now lying scattered on the ground. Oh, that with an iron pen and lead they were engraved in the rock forever. The deadline approaches. Deadline. Deadline. How foolish, my lord, to impose a boundary on creativity. Creativity who folds in on herself and bends, never a steady flow, and time who soldiers on regardless of those whom he enslaves. Deadline. Life in itself is a project, with death its deadline. We do all that we can do with the time that we're assigned, growing more, knowing more, caught between the tug of war, as the painted circuses underscore the stench of death and forevermore. We fight and flail and fall and fail, and to what avail? Because there is always more that we could have done, should have done, would have done if not for the deadline. After all, to live is to die, and death bears with it an inevitability that is uncontested by our attempts to slow its approach. Tick, tick, tick. Deadline. Line. Color inside the line. No. Einstein himself once said you have to color outside the lines every once in a while if you want to make your life a masterpiece. A masterpiece. Magnum opus, A thing made or done with masterly skill, the greatest work of a person or group, a supreme intellectual or artistic achievement. Masterpiece, they call it. Using your time for a purpose. Conquering its bounds in favor of an art. I could have done so much more if I only had time.
And the runner-up is Walk On by Willow Van Roostelaar.
And the winner in the experimental category is Trip B, Sophie Virio. You know, I'm actually really glad that no sound played. Would have really rattled my nerves.
How about another filmmaker Q&A to soothe them?
Yes!
Making a film is the hard part. If you've already done the hard part, then submitting it is the easy part. And, you know, you can get some validation or even some money. They gave away so much money, not to me, but to other people for making stuff. So if you already have it, why not try to, you know, profit or, you know, get people to enjoy and experience something that you put time and effort into?
I would say to just go for it, even if you don't have the experience or you don't think you'll win. It's more about just the experience of entering. If not for the competition, it's just something new to try. If I hadn't heard of the festival, I probably would not have even tried filmmaking, and now I really like it.
Not overthink it and not think too much about the end result of whether their video is going to be selected or not. I know I was a bit hesitant about submitting my video, but I was trying to think it's still a great opportunity to submit the video, whether it's going to be selected or not.
Festivals can open up incredible opportunities. Having your artwork appreciated by people, especially people who are in your field, is an amazing experience.
If you send in your film to this festival, but you don't end up getting selected, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. If anything, you get more time to work on the next big thing you want to work on. But if you do get selected, then it's great. You get to see your film on like the big screen. You could even win. You could place. But it's not really about winning in the end. I think it's just about, you know, seeing how far you can push yourself and see, I don't know, what you're capable of.
It takes a lot of courage, but you know, you got nothing to lose. It's really scary. It was scary for me, but you know, if you're not going to put yourself out there, then what's the point?
The worst they can say is no. I remind myself of that constantly, and when I do get rejected from festivals, it just drives me further to improve my work, and I'd say to do that for everyone. Rejection doesn't need to be a setback. It can always be a push forward.
Better?
I'll say. I could watch those Q&A videos all night long.
Then you'd miss out on some awesome music.
Does that mean the music video category is next?
You're smarter than you look.
Taller, too. So, music videos, huh?
Yep. And this category is sponsored by the Creative Arts and Production Program at Western University, also known as CAPS.
Sweet. I love that old Gangnam Style video, you know? That always makes me laugh. Whose music videos do you like?
Lady Gagas are the best. They always have so much energy and they're so entertaining.
Oh, they are, aren't they? Music videos set visuals, action, and special effects to music. They tell stories, illustrate lyrics, highlight performance, and much more. Successful music videos present a complete package, the components working together to entertain and even enlighten.
Our expert judge in this category is Norma Coates, Associate Professor with the joint appointment in the Don Wright Faculty of Music and the Faculty of Information and Media Studies at Western University.
And here are the nominees.
Run away to the stars and to the kings that hold my fate. Can't be replaced. Hide away to the love and to the fire that burns in flame. I can't escape.
And the runner-up is The Night Before Halloween by Liam Murphy.
And the winner is... Runaway by Greer Betts. Man, what is up with the sound effects tonight?
At least that one had some drums in it.
I suppose. Can we queue up another Q&A?
Making a film is the hard part. If you've already done the hard part, then submitting it is the easy part. And, you know, you can get some validation or even some money. They gave away so much money, not to me, but to other people for making stuff. So if you already have it, why not try to, you know, profit or, you know, get people to enjoy and experience something that you put time and effort into?
I would say to just go for it, even if you don't have the experience or you don't think you'll win. It's more about just the experience of entering. If not for the competition, it's just something new to try. If I hadn't heard of the festival, I probably would not have even tried filmmaking, and now I really like it.
Not overthink it and not think too much about the end result of whether their video is going to be selected or not. I know I was a bit hesitant about submitting my video, but I was trying to think it's still a great opportunity to submit the video, whether it's going to be selected or not.
Festivals can open up incredible opportunities. Having your artwork appreciated by people, especially people who are in your field, is an amazing experience.
If you send in your film to this festival, but you don't end up getting selected, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. If anything, you get more time to work on the next big thing you want to work on. But if you do get selected, then it's great. You get to see your film on like the big screen. You could even win. You could place. But it's not really about winning in the end. I think it's just about, you know, seeing how far you can push yourself and see, I don't know, what you're capable of.
It takes a lot of courage, but you know, you got nothing to lose. It's really scary. It was scary for me, but you know, if you're not going to put yourself out there, then what's the point?
The worst they can say is no. I remind myself of that constantly, and when I do get rejected from festivals, it just drives me further to improve my work, and I'd say to do that for everyone. Rejection doesn't need to be a setback. It can always be a push forward.
Those Q&As are so good.
Is that it, Sophie? Are we done?
No, we have one more category to announce.
Which one?
Narrative, sponsored by Fanshawe College's School of Contemporary Media.
Ooh, sounds intriguing. Who's our expert judge?
It's Adam Liley. Adam has worked on a wide array of film and television projects for CTV, Showcase, Discovery Channel, and National Geographic. He was a valued member of the Trailer Park Boys production team throughout their 20-year run and has just completed his 14th year teaching in the film and television program at Fanshawe College.
Before we scream the nominated shorts, we should warn you that one of them deals with the topic of teen suicide. If you are experiencing suicide-related thoughts and behaviors, you need to know that you're not alone. You can connect to a Talk Suicide Crisis Responder to get help without judgment by calling 1-833-456-4566, toll-free anytime, any day of the year.
Here are the narrative nominees.
Were you at the tracks again?
Make yourself some breakfast. Hey, Mom. What is it?
Do you know where his watch went?
No. I don't know where it is.
Do you think that maybe I could go to the train tracks with you tomorrow?
To whom it may concern, I'm 17 years old for 3 more weeks, but it's come to my attention that I'm not living my fullest teenage life. Yes, there was that one time I slipped on a banana peel and fell backwards down the stairs, like cartoons do, but that's about it. I'm currently racking my brain about what I should do about this detestable revelation. Sincerely, Marge. P.S. Your cat's food is poisoned.
enjoy your sorrow. I need thee, Savior, all life's way. Thy life of beauty is bright before me, to lead me ever unto heights above. Thy hands in blessing are lifted on me, to keep me safely in thy love. I need thee, Jesus, through every moment. I need thy guidance amid the fray. Today, tomorrow, enjoy your sorrow. I need thee, Savior, all life's way.
I've never felt as though I truly belonged. My whole life has been spent carefully jumping from stone to stone, crossing a raging river. If I fall in the river, it means I've succumbed to society's expectations of how I should act or look. However, if I successfully cross to the other side, I have made it through life following the path that I believe is right for me. The farther I go, the more the stones move beneath my feet. The water splashes, leaving droplets on my skin. It's warm and comforting. It's daring me to come in. Just this one time, the river calls to me. I dip my foot in ever so slightly, feeling the warm embrace of the water. This isn't so bad, I think to myself. Maybe I could live like this. I could learn to like it. The water begins to rush faster, trying to pull me in. I'm slipping. The water is up to my waist. I grip onto the wobbly rock. It's my only support. The rapids attempt to consume me, and for a brief moment, I wonder if it would be so bad if it did. My conscience tells me to keep going on my path, so I struggle to pull myself back onto the rock. I am met by the cold air, and my body immediately craves the warmth of the flowing river. I push on, stepping slowly on each rock and regaining my balance when I am threatened with a fall. I look ahead, and the end is nowhere to be seen, and yet the water is right here and calling to me, but I must go on. The rock path turns to a dock, society's platform. People stand around laughing and talking. They're calling me over. Just a few steps and I'll be there. The first person I meet is nothing like me. We share no interests, therefore no connection is made. I turn to the next. It's the same thing. I confront person after person, trying to find someone like me, but it's no use. I settle for someone I can relate to. Someone who understands the hardships of not fitting in, but as soon as someone better comes along, I'm pushed out of the way. I stumble backwards trying to regain my equilibrium when I find myself falling down a crack in the bridge. I hold on for dear life and scream for help, but no one will help me. No one will listen to my pleas. Why can't they hear me? I'm slipping. I drop down, 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 until I land in a desolate area with a tiny stream. I'm alone, but that's okay. There's just enough water that I can dip my toes in when I want, without drowning. There's just enough light that I can choose to be seen or lurk in the shadows. There's just enough echo that I can be heard when necessary. The perfect ending I imagined at the end of the rock path was not so perfect after all, but this fits me. This fits who I am. I belong in society's cracks.
I can't remember the last time I could breathe properly.
My fingers danced across the keys, and they told me, "You are so talented." I wanted a legacy. They said they could give one to me. "You are so talented. Just sign here, there, and here." I signed my life away at the age of 17. I caught a cold a day later. It's been 30 years. It's fine, really. I hardly even feel it anymore. Everyone has heard my music. No one has seen my face. I'm the machine that works in darkness behind the industry's biggest stars with their pretty noses. Their pretty noses that don't run. Their pretty faces are on TV speaking words that aren't theirs, spewing the empty, scripted gibberish of diseased industrial monsters that look you dead in the eye and insist you are so talented. I'm sick. I've been sick for a really long time, and I don't know if I'm going to get better. It's getting worse. The skin under my nose has been sanded raw. It thickens in my throat. Asphyxiation. I want a legacy. I'm gonna make one myself. The plan? The plan is I'll go on my own. I'm not alone. There are thousands of us infected artists choking on corporate contagion, but I'm the one who will find a cure. This is my legacy. Resign. We're so sad to see you go. Such a waste of talent. I don't care. Sign here, there, and here. It's real now. I'm terrified. I don't know if I'll survive this. But my nose hasn't been this clear in forever.
Hey there everyone, I'm the leader here at Freaky Eaters. We usually start by going around, saying our names, and what we're addicted to. I'll start. My name is Patrice, and I used to be addicted to eating glue sticks.
Hi, my name is Chelsea. I'm addicted to putting pennies in my mouth and sucking on them.
Thank you for sharing, Chelsea. Next?
Hi, I'm Kate. I don't know why I have to be here. I don't have a problem.
I see, Kate. I can't help but notice that you're holding a piece of chalk there. Want to talk about that?
It's not chalk. It's not chalk. It's a cigarette.
All right, well, in that case, we don't allow cigarettes in here.
It's chalk.
I'm sorry, that's what?
It's chalk, okay?
Okay, Kate. Next?
Oh, hey guys, I'm Cannibal Hector. I'm just a regular guy, except for the fact that I do enjoy eating people from time to time.
Shouldn't you be in jail or something?
Oh, no. You see, I only eat people who have given me consent to eat them. It's a bit of a legal loophole.
I see. And people do give you consent to eat them?
Oh, people will sell just about anything for the right price, you know? Elbows, feet, liver, butts.
Butts?
Butts. Appendix is a big one.
That makes sense.
You would not believe what I used to have to pay for a spleen, but now they're basically flying off the shelves. Or should I say, out the ass.
Okay then. Next we have...
Mike. Hey guys, I'm Mike, and I have an addiction to eating cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers? Sounds like an average Friday night to me.
No. I don't think you get it. I eat 11 cheeseburgers a day. It's the only thing I eat. Last week, I tried to eat a salad, and I threw up everything in my system. You know what it's like to see the disappointment in the eyes of the woman that you love day after day after you turn down a meal that would receive the highest ratings from any renowned critic, but you don't eat it because it's not in the form of a hot bun and a juicy cheeseburger. Do you know what it's like? Do you?
Hey, buddy, you think you got it bad? You should try my wife's cooking. So what I normally like to do next is go around the circle and tell each other about a time when your addiction has negatively impacted your life. It looks like Micah started for us, if you can even call that negative, so I'll go next. When I was still addicted to eating glue sticks, my lips would often get stuck together, making it really difficult to speak. Chelsea?
Oh, well, this is quite embarrassing, but last week I was at the grocery store, and when I was paying, I was a dime short, and I knew I had about 17 cents in my mouth, and without thinking, I just...
All right, Chelsea, I think we get the picture. Did you spit out some coins? And the cashier didn't like that, did they? And you felt real embarrassed, right? Great, I think we're making some real progress here. All right, Kate, how about you?
Nothing I can think of.
Kate, you look like a darn cokehead. Look at you, you're covered in white dust.
Well, I guess there's that.
Oh, Kate, denial's common here. We're gonna work through this. Finally, Hector, you must have something to talk about.
Again, I'm just here out of legal obligation. I'm honestly very happy with my lifestyle.
Hector, you eat people for God's sake. There must be some sort of guilt that comes along with that. Shame, even.
I really don't think I have anything to be ashamed of. And honestly, neither do any of you. Kate, sure, eating chalk probably isn't good for you, but neither is actually smoking. If you love to do it, then who cares? And Chelsea, what you do with your money is up to you. Who cares what some cashier thinks?
Well, I have gotten sick a few times.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Then you go for it, girl. Mike, do you get vegetables on those burgers?
Yeah.
Well, then that's a balanced meal. There's nothing wrong with liking what you like.
Yeah.
Tell your wife to go suck an egg.
Yeah, wait, no.
Hector is right. We don't have a problem. Society does.
Oh, screw it.
What an amazing group of films. And the runner-up is Sneeze by Johnny Tsatsos.
And the winner is... The Adventures of Marg by Chloe Clune. Congratulations, Johnny and Chloe. Hey, we finally got a drum roll.
Just in time, too. This is the end of the ceremony.
Oh, man. I don't even know what to say.
That's okay, Michael. I do. Thank you to everyone for joining us this evening, and congratulations once again to our nominees and award winners.
Well, thank you to everyone except for the Sound Effects Wrangler.
Now, Michael, it's a new festival and we all did our best, right? This production has been run in its entirety by students of Fanshawe College's School of Contemporary Media, and they did an amazing job on a super complex program. Speaking of doing your best, if you're a high school student and interested in submitting a film for next year's Ontario Youth Film Festival, please head over to oyff.ca for more information on our categories and guidelines. Anything else you'd like to add?
Only that I'm probably going to have nightmares featuring all sorts of weird, random sound effects.
Say goodnight, Michael.
Good night, Michael.